Hi, I'm Landscaper. This is the Wannabe Composer series. So today I've been finishing off Telescope and trying to do an overall mix, which has gone okay, I think. I'm never entirely satisfied, that's just the way it is. But at some point you've got to just go, alright, fine, I've done enough. Otherwise you just keep tinkering forever. So I think I'd already done this in the previous one, but I've broken up all of the parts, so all the woodwinds are together, the bass, blah blah blah. And what I've done is I've put groups, so all of the woodwinds go to the woodwind group. Makes sense, doesn't it? All of the cellies to the cello group, etc, etc. And I've done that for all the ones that have kind of multiple instruments in the same little group. And then what I've done is I've done some very basic kind of EQing, a couple of different bits of software here that helps. I've got Smart EQ from Sonoball, which I really like. It's very intuitive. It uses a little bit of AI to kind of work out. You can do some of these presets so you can actually sort of type in if you're doing cellos or whatever. You can select cello and it kind of knows the frequency ranges to look at. I tend to do, I probably do overkill is the truth of it because I can't be trusted. But I tend to do a EQ, like a mild EQ on all of the different instruments, certainly in different, so the woodwinds are all quite different depending, an oboe and a flute, different frequency ranges, different things that you want out of that instrument. And then I'll do an overall one on the bus to try and curb it, get it to sit in with everything else. I tend to start with the biggest, the lowest, the heaviest, so basses, drums, that kind of thing. Get those to a point where you're happy and then try and get everything else to tuck in with it. But it depends what you want to focus on. If you want to focus on a solo violin or something like that, you might want to build it around that. Anyway, I've also got another little bit of software called Soothe, which you've probably seen me use. Soothe, it's brilliant. And I've tucked a load of these across the different instruments. It basically just pulls out some of the gnarly frequencies. There's a really nice little feature in there. Let's just play something quickly to show you. Let's say on the brass, where you can hear, you just hit a little delta button and you can hear what's basically being taken out. It's this little button down here, delta. So if I play it, and it shows you the bits it's pulling out, so you can have a little listen to this and think, yeah, okay, I'm happy with that, or I've put too much on, or whatever. Whoa, right. And then at the very end, I sometimes do, and I have a little bit on this one, but I'll sometimes bunch things together. So in this instance I've bunched the brass group and the cello group, and I've put them out to a single place to try and get them to sit a little bit better in the mix. More often than not you would tend to maybe group all your strings. You would tend to put brass in with cello, but if you find they're arguing around the same sort of frequency ranges, you might want to. And then at the end, on my stereo out, not sure if you're supposed to do it. I hear different things. Don't know is the honest answer, but I do it. Probably going to get told off by a number of people now. I'm sure you should do most of your mixing in groups and buses, but a little bit over the top on the end. So on the end, on the stereo out, I've got a plugin called True Iron, which is great. It's got a little preset called Orchestral Glue, which is a good little starting point for orchestral stuff. Puts a bit of analog kind of warmth into the track. I've then run, except I seem to have turned it off. Interesting. Well, yeah. It sounded pretty good without it, so now I'm like, should I? I've run another Smart EQ over the top of everything, and basically in order to kind of try and work out what's going to argue with what, I tend to move all of the tracks so they're all playing at the same time. Sounds terrible, but it gives you a good indication of what's going to argue with what, and then you can see if they're actually on at the same time and make little adjustments. Then I've run a whole bundle of little very, very delicate Soothe plugins. Then Smart Compressor, again from Sonoball, just a tiny bit, just to sort of pull it down 1, maybe 2 decibels. I've got a vintage compressor as well from Steinberg that I've used to boost the input gain to get it to sit in the place I want it. I see a red line there, don't want to see that. And then finally I've put a smart limiter, which looks horrendous right now, you just got to ignore this. I've set, again, preset, do love a preset, to classical, so that I know that the output is basically going to be the right kind of level, the right kind of dynamic range for Spotify, or whatever. It's got a cute little quality check here. You're just lying to me, aren't you? Come, let's play something. Well, that's interesting. When I last left it, it said that the quality check was absolutely fine. Now it's telling me I need to raise the input gain by 2.5 decibels. So, I wonder if having this smart EQ on has dropped it by 2.5. You know, I'm not entirely sure how or why that has jumped and changed. That is very confusing to me. Which is great, isn't it? That's what you want. Yeah. Sounding professional? No, I'm not. Don't tell my clients. Right, anyway. I'm happy with that it sounds. I am going to check that out later, but I'm not going to bore you with it now. So I'm just going to play the track so you can hear what I think is going to be the finished version. There's quite a lot of air on the woodwinds, but then that does kind of pull them through. I still hate those strings. I don't know why I've left them in. Set the big brass a little bit further back. Gives a bit more room to other stuff. The solo violins are probably a little bit too loud, a little bit proud. So there you go. I think they're sounding all right. I will put the audio track up at some point as well. So the output master will be slightly different to this. The Soothe plugin to save on processing power, allows you to play it at a lower sample rate and without using the highest resolution. And you can set this so that you can save when you're processing, but the output is actually as high as it will get. It's well worth checking, having a listen to the individual parts if your computer can cope with it before, to make sure you're not overdoing it. But hopefully it will sound even better by the end. Anyway, there you go. That was Telescope. Hope you enjoyed.